Welcome back to Raven Sexton's Blackbird Diaries. This is episode 6 of the Real Talk series. You'll find it corresponds with entry 6 of the blog, Real Talk series, at blackbirddiaries.com. And the subject tonight, boundaries aren't mean, they're sacred. So let's jump in. Let's retire the idea that setting boundaries makes you mean, cold, or unspiritual. And understand when I say boundaries, I'm not talking about walls. And I can speak to this from experience. And anybody who knows me will tell you I was the queen of walls. They're awesome. They are handy until they're not. So we learn about boundaries. Boundaries are important for people pleasers, fixers, those who avoid conflict. If you were raised to always be nice and polite, I hope that you were also raised with self-respect. Nice, polite, and accommodating are not bad. People pleasing, that's self-sabotage. That's martyrdom. That builds a resentment in you that eats you from the inside out, because you'll find you resent others as much as you resent yourself for doing it. Part of learning self-love, part of being true to yourself. It isn't arrogant. It's self-preservation in a way that allows you to thrive, to recognize your authentic self, to be yourself, to be that better friend, that better partner, that better parent, that better anything, because you are being true to you through boundaries, without pushing people away, without being mean, without being icy. On the flip side of that, let's be honest, sometimes those boundaries mean that you have to be a little mean. You're going to be perceived as it. You're going to find you're going to be perceived as cold, or at least told that you are being cold, because that's the manipulator's way. When people have had full access to you, when you have bent over backwards and they have gotten so used to taking advantage, and you set boundaries, they are going to lose their ever-loving shit. You're not doing it to spite them. You're not doing it to hurt anybody. You're doing it to help you. And in a way, you're going to be setting the tone for others to understand. I respect myself. This is how you show me respect, because I am not going to accept your disrespect. And I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm going to respect that you are exactly who you've shown me that you are. You do you, boo. You go do that. You are not going to have access to me anymore. That's a boundary. That is strength that comes from your core. And if you've been a people pleaser, that's going to be a very hard lesson, but it's a good one. It is honestly one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And I say it from experience. I've been the people pleaser. And I've been the bad guy when I had to finally put up the boundaries. And I've been the one who made the mistake and just turned it into walls because I was fed up. I didn't know where to stop. And a lot of us go through that. And I talk about self-love and self-talk and how we take care of ourselves. And the biggest piece of that is understanding you're not going to get it right the first time. It's trial and error. It's understanding where your boundaries exist. It's understanding how to enforce them without pushing too hard or too little. So you learn, and you have to be kind to yourself and remember, this is why I'm doing it. And be honest. I am learning. This is new to me. Or I'm still figuring this out because I'm tired of being disrespected. I'm tired of being treated as less than I am. And until I learn to do this for myself, I can't continue with my healing. But this is part of my growth. This is part of me being the authentic me. And if you still like the authentic me, come on in. So you're going to learn people are going to fall away, and that's okay. And the right people are going to come in. And again, you're going to have to learn who's who, and it's going to take some time. And if you have a core group around you that cares about you, that support system's the best thing in the world you can have. Boundaries help you see things more clearly. They help you to heal quickly. They help you realize when you have to take your time with your healing. And they help you to love yourself. Because now, what's around you is simply what you bring in, what you allow, and you learn what you have allowed. People pleasers are often praised as being the fixer. You're so easygoing. You're down for anything. And then they just assume that you're always going to do what they want. Because they make it sound like that is your best quality while you are sacrificing your authenticity and you're sacrificing who you are. Boundaries can feel wrong when you're listening outside yourself. And to a degree, when you're listening to yourself, they can sound wrong because they're new. This is a challenge. I'm having to push back something I haven't done, something I've avoided doing. So remind yourself why you're doing it. The deeper truth is that boundaries are a return to self. They're a way to honor your needs. I know what I need to do to feel safe, to feel sane, and to feel sovereign. Now, there's a trick in there when I say to feel safe. And this is usually that pivot point where it turns into walls. And remind yourself when the walls go up, they are indiscriminate. Walls will block out the good as well. It will block out the good challenges, the support system. But boundaries recognize the difference. Remind yourself that when you're setting boundaries, you're not abandoning anybody. You're refusing to abandon yourself. Because again, you're going to hear it from those who have always had access and didn't deserve it. You're abandoning me. You're just leaving me. I need you. Do they? Do they? Because if you have to give up who you are, if you have to abandon yourself to accommodate somebody else, to feel needed, that's part of your healing journey. Why do I need to feel needed? Why do I let them talk me into this when it doesn't feel right? Listen to your gut, listen to your heart. And most people say, no, use your logic. Well, obviously. But your heart is going to tell you the truth. Not your anxiety, not your fear of abandonment. It's going to tell you, this is what I really want. This is what I really deserve. And they keep saying they're going to give it to me, and I've been hanging on, hoping that that's what they're going to give me. But they've been showing me someone else, and that they're not. My heart knows I don't deserve the bullshit I'm getting. So I'm not abandoning them, I've been abandoning me. So up goes the boundary. I'm coming back to me. This is self-respect. Remind yourself that self-respect is sacred, it's spiritual, and it is rooted in love. When you love yourself, and I do not mean narcissistic, because narcissistic self-love is a form of self-loathing. I'll cover that at another time. But think about it. The narcissist needs everybody else to validate them and believe them because they don't really believe it themselves. But when you love yourself and you know who you are, you know that you can give love without worrying about getting it back. You don't need to barter for it. It just is. You just give it regardless. The person that is just mean and crabby all the time, and you look at them and go, you know what? You're adorable. I love you. You're going to recognize you don't need their acceptance, but they're going to appreciate that love from you, even if they don't show it, because you are setting an example. Now let's talk about love with versus love without boundaries. Love that has boundaries is sustainable, healthy, mutual. And that can be a love between partners, friends, family members, because that's all different forms of love. When there are boundaries that say, I love you, but I'm not going to do that for you. I love you, but I'm going to remind you that you're making a bad choice because I love you. I'm going to give you that tough love. Or because I love you, I'm going to be there for you. There's a boundary there that tells you when is the right time to say yes. And when does the love dictate that you say no? The boundary's in place for a reason. I love you, and I know you're lashing out because you're hurt. And you don't mean it to come to me, so I'm going to tell you right now, it's not okay. You don't do that to me because you're hurt over something else. That's a boundary. That's a healthy boundary in love. You still love them and they still love you. And they're hurting or they're angry. By setting that boundary, it helps them recognize what they're doing so it doesn't damage that love between you. And if they're coming from a healthy place, they're going to go, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. Because that boundary has helped them to recognize and helped them on their journey, helped them to be a better person. And vice versa, you may be on the receiving end of it. Those are healthy boundaries in love. Love without boundaries is infatuation, obsession, it's that neediness. It is self-erasure. It is, I gave up everything for you. I changed who I was for you. And what does that become? Resentment. That's not love. That's neediness. That's codependence. Boundaries can be very healthy. They are, and they're necessary. They are filters. Again, they're not walls. They're filters. They're going to help you understand who deserves access to your energy, to your person. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your time, energy, or emotional bandwidth. Not friends, not family, partners, clients. No one deserves 100% access to your energy. You have to be able to take care of you. You need your space. You need your downtime. Protecting your peace is wise. It is wisdom. It is when you say, no, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not comfortable with that. Or I simply don't want to. That type of honesty is brilliant. And as hard as it might be in the moment, it is the best decision to be honest and to say no. You decide whether you're going to say why or not. You don't owe everybody an explanation. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes out of respect for them and the situation, give that explanation. But stand by the boundary. If you decide to push beyond that boundary, to do it, remember that it is your decision, you own it. You do not let yourself resent them for something you chose to do. You're in charge of you. You decide for you. All those times that you were a people pleaser and you got talked into things, remember, you're the one who did it, who chose to do it. This is where your boundaries help you to mature. Psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm going to give you some practical tips for setting boundaries. Simple phrases. I'm not available. I need some time for myself right now. Do not fall into the trap. And I know a lot of us have done that. I did in the early days. It is that fear, out of sight, out of mind. Well, if I don't, they won't ask me again. Ask yourself, is it really that important? And if it's a friend situation and they're going to cut you out that easily, are they friends? Hmm. Did you make a promise and now you're veering toward the better offer? That's your integrity speaking. And by saying, I'm not available, that's a boundary that tells them they've made a promise. I respect that they made a promise and they're going to keep it. I'm not going to try to get them to break it because you set that boundary. It's okay if it feels awkward at first. Hell, it's okay if it feels awkward every time. Some of us are just genuinely, well, not me, nice people, good people who want to see others happy, love to spend time around people, hate saying no. That's a big one. That's a big sign that you need to work on your boundaries if you hate saying no. Take some time to think about it. Think about all the times that you should have set a boundary. And I'm not saying to do this so you can beat yourself up. Don't do that. I'm really good at it, but don't do that. Think about all those times when your boundaries would have resulted in something a lot better, would have saved you some headache, some heartache. We all need a little heartache. We learn to appreciate. We all go through it, and we all make mistakes. Think about it and learn from it. And remember, you're still here, you're still kicking, and you're still learning. Those mistakes were opportunities. They're always going to be, and they're going to happen again and again. We're always going to have to push boundaries. Sometimes we have to push outside our comfort zone. That's a whole different conversation. Think about this. Boundaries are the most honest form of love you can give to others and to yourself. If this is something you struggle with, the next week, set one boundary. Think about it. Think about how that boundary, and it may be something you already know, the minute I said it, that it hit you. Think about how that honors you and your relationships. Again, friends, family, coworkers, your partner. Sit down and journal it, write about it, think about it, talk to somebody you trust about it. I'll bet you if you've been listening to this or read the blog, there's already somebody who's told you, dude, you need to learn to say no. So take some time to think about it. And it doesn't have to be a huge boundary. Start small. Start simple. If it's time for a big one, well, you have fun with that. I know you can do it. You already know that you need it. So I hope this helps you. I hope it gives you a little bit different way of looking at boundaries. And again, remember, boundaries are filters. Boundaries are healthy and helpful. They can discern what and who comes in and what and who stays out. Unlike walls that are indiscriminate and keep everybody out. One of these days, I'll share a story about my walls and the fact that they came down. Well, for the most part. Again, I hope this helps. If there's anybody you know that you think can benefit from this, please feel free to share with them. Thank you.